Welcome to part 3 of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Deluxe for the Game Boy Color. Or the commentary, whatever you may prefer. Mantis pretty much abandoned us, and we're down to just Lester and Justin now, so yeah.
Yep.
Also, we take on level 2, grab pieces of power, and do more stuff.
Yeah, because we didn't need to hear the music of this dungeon.
That's like the number one thing I hate about these items and those. Like, you'll even see times where I literally go out of my way to avoid Guardian Acorns like the plague, kind of like how AC Bailey did with his playthrough.
Yeah, and how people were asking Chugga Khan to do the same thing.
Shy Guys.
Because they're useful, the Guardian Acorn and the power. It's just they overlap the music, and that's pretty dang annoying.
The damage ratio is so high to begin with anyway, you don't really need them.
It just helps, but yeah, you don't need them.
I mean, if anything, the game would have been fine without them. I guess that's the reason why they don't have them back in later Zelda games either, so...
Probably, because then they probably realized how overused they could be. So maybe that's why
Also, notice that I skip a few rooms of the dungeon because I'm not going out of my way for every item.
Yeah, I noticed that, like, in the first dungeon, you didn't go for the Owl's Beak or anything like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you don't really need half of that stuff. Like, the Owl's Beak you don't need, because it's just a tip system.
Also, I remembered that you can't destroy those things unless you have the boomerang, which is stupidly powerful, by the way, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, the boomerang can kill basically everything.
Oh, wow.
It's more powerful than... No, scratch that. It's the most powerful weapon in the game.
Yeah, it's the most powerful thing. Even more powerful than the level 2 sword. I think that's even with the piece of power. Or a red tunic.
That's sad, then.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Wow. Hey, Cyclops.
And that's a mini-boss.
Again, that's why I don't care too much about taking damage in this game.
Yeah, because you can just rapid fire and they're dead
Barry,
in an instant.
get over here. Get your ass over
That
here.
and all the mini-bosses and bosses drop fairies or a heart piece. So it's, they drop something to refill your health.
Yeah. Oh well, I have a flying heart to compensate.
Yeah, and then
that.
you have stuff like that, where they just throw hearts at you in the dungeon.
I want to say quite to the generous extent of Mega Man 3, for example, but still.
Well, that was more towards the end, but yeah.
I
see what you're going
maps
with.
in this game look like a freaking slate.
Yeah, true. I always notice that too. All the maps look like a slate.
Booze! And it's the only time we see him in the game.
Yeah, it's weird. This is really the only place to see a Boo.
Ew, the light.
Because you see a ghost later, but it's not a Boo ghost. It's just an actual different ghost.
One of those ghosts ran away from a wire. I can't think of
And-
Pac-Man somewhat.
I'm gonna reference Johnny's review of this game for a brief moment, because he was complaining about the power bracelet. And while I don't like the idea of having to switch back and forth between the power bracelet and other items to pick up stuff at will either, I don't see what alternative you can do to it. I really
Yeah,
don't.
because there was no shoulder buttons or anything like that. So there was no way you can physically have another button mapped for it.
So there's no way I can, like, justifiably complain about it because there's nothing I can do about it. Unless, the only thing I could recommend, though, is probably lessen the extent of liftable objects in this game.
That probably would have helped, yeah.
And made it to where the sword actually broke shit.
Yeah, like
Which-
when you get the level 2 sword, you can break through this stuff. That would have been cool.
Which, again, the Oracle games fixed this. The Oracle games fixed a lot of issues Link's Awakening had.
Yeah.
And they're all around much better games than Link's Awakening. Well, actually, now I want to... God dang it. Now I want to hold back on my statement of saying Link's Awakening was my favorite handheld. Let me...
Hey, you
Zelda
talk a
thing.
lot of praise about the Oracle, so now it's kind of flip-flopping.
I know, right? I mean, because Oracle of Ages was my first handheld Zelda after all, so...
Yeah, this room's weird. You're supposed to kill these enemies in a certain order.
I guess I like both those games, but for different reasons. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then again, I've stated this back in Link to the Past, Wind Waker being my favorite, it's hard for me to rate these games on a marginal basis.
Yeah, understandable. It's hard to do that anymore nowadays. It's just things always change.
That's why I love the Zelda games so much. When they make it to where it's hard to figure out what's your favorite and stuff, it's a really good game series.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Also, I like how you can't bring carried objects from one screen.
Yeah, it just disappears and fades out of existence.
Also, we're about to fight my least favorite boss in the game. And it's not that he's hard or anything, though it can be pretty easy to get reckless with a little too much. Notice that speech bubble that popped up.
Yeah, that pops up every single time you actually hit him.
He talks so freaking much.
He keeps on mentioning his bottle every single time he pops back out, and that's the biggest annoyance of the fight.
The pacing of this battle is so bad.
Yeah, it is.
Clown? A magical clown, a bottle. That is creepy.
Yeah, you're supposed to stun him with your sword, then use the power bracelet and throw him into a wall. You gotta keep on listening to all of his dialogue because of it. It's really annoying. From what I've seen, at least.
That's keep switching in and out with that. That's ridiculous.
Well, you don't need the box feather for this. It just, from looks of things, makes it easier.
It does. Because each fireball does 1 full heart of damage.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah, so that's a lot in the stage.
That's why I was saying that it's easy to get reckless with this fight. Especially with the second phase portion of it.
Yeah, because he does more damage then, I think. Or he does like more attacks at that point, something like that.
Or like he can accidentally spawn in on top of you and do loads of damage that way. I hate bosses that teleport.
Oh yeah, that's right. It just takes forever for the first phase, too.
There we go.
Shut up.
I know, he talks so much.
Mad.
Yeah, and because of the, compression and everything, he looks like he's teleporting and not just, like, copying himself. He's supposed to have, like, 2 images, I think, here. Although it doesn't show up in videos.
No, he's just teleporting in a really weird way.
Yeah, from what I remember, like, seeing, he's supposed to, like, have, like, duplicate images when he's doing that. But because of YouTube's compression and everything, and Camtasia compressing, it just looks like he's teleporting Ganon.
So we go from conch shell to conch horn.
Believe me, I don't think dungeons start to get really long until like level 5, I think. So expect dungeons being done in like less than 1 part from this point forward.
Level 5, wasn't that the water dungeon?
That was the one where you're inside of a catfish.
Oh. Okay, cause I don't remember which is which. I thought it was the one where you get your flippers.
Did you beat this game?
No, I've seen a Let's Play of it recently, and that's about it. As far as I've ever able to get because of save issues is past the first dungeon. Every single time my save kind of just corrupts, and I gotta start over. So I just like, I don't want to play this anymore. I'm playing the first part of the game like 20 times in a row.
Yeah, I really hate how Bow Wow just takes his sweet-ass time to decide when he wants to eat something.
Yeah, he helps, he takes forever to do it. Like this, for example, he eats the top one before he even touches the bottom flower that you're in front of. That's annoying.
Also, light legs are really pointless in this game because they can only eat your shield if you have it equipped on an item slot.
Oh wow. So now they're just an annoyance.
No, they're just sort of there now.
Well, annoyance doesn't, they hold you for a second, that's it. Then again, they were pretty useless in Link to the Past, so far it seems like they're useless in the 2D games and more harmful in the 3D ones.
I don't know, the ones in Four Swords and Minish Cap were pretty freaking annoying. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't gone that far in like Four Swords when I got to play it once. And Minish Cap I barely remember, so I'll take the word for it.
And here we're about to get a fourth piece of heart, which will complete a heart container. And now that I mentioned that, fun fact, Link's Awakening has the least amount of heart pieces of any other Zelda game in the series.
Really?
12 pieces of heart.
Wow, I didn't think this had the least. That's weird.
So yeah, you can only get 3...
Did you collect the piece of heart, or did you collect the skull?
So yeah, basically you can only get 3 full heart containers from them in the entire game. Which it levels out to 14 max heart containers you can have in this entire game, which I do get all of, so...
Yeah.
There was like one or two of them I had to look up online because... even though there aren't many pieces of heart in this game, some of the locations are actually pretty cryptic, and we'll get into those a little bit later.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Especially a certain underwater one.
Oh yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. It's in a moat in front of that castle.
That was my least favorite one.
Yeah, that one I remember hearing. That one's pretty hard to find.
And here, remember that that demon that quote unquote cursed us in the in Link to the Past? Well, he makes his return here, and this time he's actually more useful because not only does he do stuff like double your magic, though you don't get double magic at all in this game.
There is no magic to begin with.
He increases your ammo for various other items.
Yeah, and there's 3 of these guys. He can increase ammo for bombs, for your magic powder, and for arrows. So, that's pretty useful.
Also, thank you, oh, never mind. I was about to say thank you for compression for not blinding my eyes with the...
No, it still keeps that intact.
Lightning.
Keeps some things intact and screws up other things. It's very selective.
I know, right?
That's why you really need to know your editing software to get around YouTube itself. I really want them to support 60 frames at this rate.
I'm not gonna lie though, when it comes to Camtasia, I think the #1 thing it records the best are Game Boy games, let's be honest.
Yeah, the handhelds are the best for it.
Because, compare this to Link to the Past, and I gotta admit though, the frame rate was kind of meh. Now, look at stuff like the Game Boy games I've done, for example, like Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy and this.
Yeah.
Look at how fluid it looks, good God.
Yeah, it's because it's more designed. The handheld games didn't have the best frame rate, so it works perfectly. The Camtasia, I think, records at the most 20 to 25 frames, something like that.
Also, for the record, everybody, I'm not going to be stealing any items in this game. Because, fun fact, if you steal an item and then talk to people, they will replace your name with Thief in bold print, so...
Yeah, change your file name to Thief.
Oh, shh.
So, that's a pretty useful thing if you don't want to spend money, but then if you want a certain file name, you can't keep it.
The first time that happened, I thought the game glitched.
Well then, especially when you walk back in there too, because if you walk back in after stealing an item from the shop, the guy instantly kills you. Even if you have a magic potion to revive yourself, it's an instant kill. But
right there, what I was showing there for a brief moment was the map. And the map, it only fills in areas for places you've already been to before, so it's not near as useful as Link to the Past's map.
Yeah, true.
And I think they do this for the rest of the handheld games too.
I think so, yeah, or at least the Game Boy ones.
And to a certain extent with Minish Cap, because it filled in the areas you've been to, not so much screens. So, there was Minish Cap as the Minish Woods as a whole wasn't filled in until,
Oh, yeah, you kind of forgot to leave me behind. Well, that's one way to end it.
And I completely forgot to take Bow Wow back. So next time we will take Bow Wow back and actually talk to this guy properly this time. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in part 4.
See you.